Using Overhealth is throwing. This is a topic of Overwatch 2 which is really not discussed nearly as much as it should be. One of the most important aspects of teamfights in Overwatch 2 are the ultimates. More specifically, the idea surrounding ultimate economy. To summarize it very shortly, ultimate economy is the efficiency a team can earn and utilize their ultimates in a given teamfight. Basically, you don't want to earn ults too slowly, and you don't want to use too many at once. One of the most important balances of ultimate charge comes from healing the damage that is taken. There is a net neutral ultimate charge if one team deals 200 damage and the other team heals 200 health. A single damage in Overwatch 2 equates to 1 point of ultimate charge, as does a single HP of healing. So long as this exists, if a team deals damage and every single piece of that damage is healed up by the supports, ultimate charge will never ever be lost. A team can gain the advantage in ultimates if they kill the enemies. That way the healers didn't have time to get that ult charge, meaning the gradual ultimate progression goes to the team that got the kills. There is a big way, however, that you can hinder your team from getting ultimate charge, which just is not spoken about. That is the introduction of where I bring in Overhealth. Certain characters can give themselves or distribute Overhealth to other characters. Most of this comes from various heroes in the tank roster, though some from the support roster as well. Overhealth in general serves as a safety mitten of damage. You have that extra slab of health, you can survive a Widow shot. This is great in the short term for surviving Widowmaker shots if you're giving yourself 50 extra Overhealth, whatever. No one's gonna notice, right? The problem comes in for the characters that distribute mass amounts of Overhealth. There are many heroes that can fall under this category, but the two that I'm going to talk about today are Lifeweaver and Sigma. Let's start with Sigma, as he's the tank, and this is probably the easiest to understand. As Sigma, you can convert damage taken with your kinetic grasp into Overhealth for yourself. If you take a fuckload of damage, you're going to get a fuckload of Overhealth. This isn't overly helpful a lot of the time. Yes, you have 400 extra numbers to your HP pool. However, that is 400 points of ultimate economy lost for your supports. Once the enemy team has whittled away that 400 points of Overhealth, it cannot be healed back up. You have lost that forever. It's incredibly important that I say Overhealth here and not just a health gain. A great example of just a health gain would be form changes, such as in Winston's ultimate ability and in Ramatra's form change. They gain a larger health pool in these form changes. However, if they take mass amounts of damage, that ultimate charge isn't necessarily lost for the supports, as it can be healed up whilst they're in the duration of that form. With this Overhealth, there is literally no way that that extra 400 health you've just gained will not be given to the enemy team. Especially because of the fact that you're on tank as Sigma, you're not keeping that health. It's going to be shredded away and gifted to them as free ultimate economy. I could talk about Wrecking Ball with his mass amounts of Overhealth as well, but I think he plays a very different style of play. So I would prefer to talk about Lifeweaver as my second example. Lifeweaver's Tree of Life has always been the topic of discussion around terrible ultimates. I'm adding another reason to that list. The Overhealth that it gives to everyone in the surrounding area typically is not enough for you to win the team fight. Therefore, every single time that Tree of Life pulses Overhealth to the surrounding teammates, that is free ult economy for the enemy team. That high mitigation stat you're getting on Lifeweaver is not a good thing. You are giving them ult economy. There are absolutely benefits to utilizing Overhealth. Of course, if you can guarantee 100%, you're going to win the team fight. It's not really so much a problem if you give yourself a little bit of Overhealth, It is with characters like Lifeweaver and Sigma where it becomes more problematic, as they're characters that prolong team fights, especially Lifeweaver. And so that Overhealth isn't necessarily going to give you the value you might want it to have, other than ultimate economy for the enemy team. Maybe you think I'm absolutely, completely, horribly wrong on that. I suppose you'll just have to let me know. Overhealth is throwing. Start playing characters without it. That's my clowner hot take. Goodbye.